Here are 5 steps I use to destroy my cold calling anxiety that'll work for you too. No more nerves, they're done. It's time to become the badass cold caller you were called to be. You see what I did there? Step number 1, build your belief. Believing in your product is the foundation of all sales success. Specifically, believing in your ability to serve your clients. Selling is helping. And if you don't believe that you can actually help your clients, you should find another company. If you don't believe in the product, get out of there. You're never going to be successful. And it's no wonder that you're anxious making cold calls, interrupting strangers for a product and solution that you don't even believe can help them. When you're cold calling from a place of service, selling turns into helping. And Mark Hunter is one of my mentors in this space. He's one of the top keynote speakers in the industry. He goes by the Sales Hunter, and he shared a perspective on cold outreach that changed the game for me, and it's changed the game for anyone I've ever shared it with. Mark says that if you know you have the ability to help someone, you have an obligation to reach out to them. Imagine a father who knows that his kid is sick and he has an ability to help that kid and he doesn't do anything. That's pretty messed up. And if a prospect found out that you had an ability to help them and make their life easier, improve their processes, and deliver better results for them, and they found out you didn't reach out to help them, they'd actually be kind of pissed. So assuming you believe in your ability to help clients similar to the prospects you're reaching out to, you have an obligation. You have to reach out to them, otherwise you're doing them a disservice, not interrupting their day. So the question is, how do you build your belief and conviction to crush your cold calling nerves? You need to collect the evidence on how you help companies be successful. You can start out by going to the company website and looking at case studies on how you've delivered results for clients and how you've solved key challenges, but go a step deeper, talk to subject matter experts, technical experts that are working with happy clients, talk to account executives who are more senior than you, and other leaders at the company engaging with customers to hear their stories of delighted customers and hear about the problems being solved and outcomes being delivered. So you have an arsenal of stories of happy customers that really gives you a treasure trove of belief to take into your cold calls. Step number 2 is to practice. So when it's game time, the cold call script, how you deliver, is automatic. The more we practice, the less we feel nerves and high performance moments. And sales is a high-performance sport, just like basketball or any professional sport. Think about Steph Curry, the greatest three-point shooter of all time. He's made more three-pointers than anyone in history. And imagine that he's taken so many more three-point shots in practice than in actual games. The amount of three-pointers he's made and even the amount of three-pointers he's taken in games is such a small percentage of the overall shots he's taken. He's taken millions of shots that were outside of playing in actual games that mattered. If you want to destroy your cold calling anxiety, then be the Steph Curry of cold calling and role play over and over and over outside of work hours. So by the time you're in the game and you're on an actual cold call, you're not practicing on the court. You're ready to go, you're ready to crush it, and you're more confident than ever. Because of the practice you put in when the prospect picks up, you open the call with a calm, smooth demeanor. Hey Tim, this is Chris calling from XYZ Company. I probably caught you in the middle of something, but do you have 20 seconds for me to briefly share why I'm reaching out to you specifically? Then when they give you time, you're ready to rock, and you use a reverse pitch to pique their curiosity. When I talk to other engineering leaders at other local SaaS companies in the Austin market, they're typically dealing with one of 3 core challenges. X, Y, and Z. I'm curious which resonates most with you. And when the prospect says, I'm not interested, you're not rattled, you're ready to go because you've already practiced over and over. That's okay, I hear you're not interested. I'm curious, I know your job's not to help a sales guy, but are you not interested because you have another solution in place like X solution? Or 2, maybe you have more pressing priorities, or 3, you're just trying to get me off the phone. And if it's the latter, I won't take it personally, I've already been fired 10 times a day. Preparation is a fundamental skill set in sales, and practicing over and over is going to get you game time ready, and it's going to compress your learning and development so you show up as confidently as possible when it comes time to make that cold call. Step number 3 is to tap into your breath to calm your nervous system. There's a lot of sales content that talks about the perfect script and exactly what to say, but not enough practical content that talks about how to deal with your own physiology to reduce your nerves and anxiety. I've heard it said that our breath is remote control access to the nervous system, and it's one of the greatest ways to presence ourselves so we show up with creativity and with clarity, and we show up as calmly and confidently as possible. Although there's many different breathwork techniques, I want to recommend a very simple technique that you can pull off in a couple seconds right before a cold call that is really going to calm your nervous system down. And it's from one of my inspirations, Dr. Andrew Huberman, who's a Stanford neuroscientist that you've probably heard of with a crazy famous podcast. Dr. Andrew Huberman recommends the double nasal inhale. It goes something like this. You breathe in through your nose, and then breathe through your nose again without exhaling, and then exhale through your mouth. It's amazing what that will do to calm your nerves, and then you're present, and you're ready to rock. Step number 4 is to choose the feeling you're after. I got this game-changing tip from the book High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard, who is the highest paid man in the world on high performance. He's the guy that Usher and Oprah and Olympic athletes and top executives bring in and pay the big bucks to deliver results. In the book High Performance Habits, which I highly recommend you check out, Brendan talks about 6 different meta habits. The first and foremost and most foundational is seeking clarity. And within the context of seeking clarity, there's a specific aspect of this habit that is very powerful and can be applied to cold calling. In the book, Brendan describes an emotion as something that's automatically triggered from a stressor that we're experiencing. It's something like anxiety. But Brendan describes a feeling as an intellectual interpretation of what we choose the emotion to be. Understanding the distinction between emotions and feelings is a game changer, because what that means in the context of cold calling is when we step up to the plate and we're ready to make that cold call and we experience the automatic triggered emotion of anxiety, we can choose our interpretation of what that anxiety actually means. We can choose the feeling, and we can choose to say that the feeling is actually excitement. So we transform that anxiety into excitement and even priming ourselves to be ready to rise to the occasion. In the book, Brendan says this is what top Olympic athletes, top sprinters do when they step up to the starting blocks of a big sprint. You better believe they are nervous, they experience anxiety, but they've become masters at choosing their interpretation and transforming that anxiety into the feeling of excitement and being primed to take what's theirs. Before every cold call, choose the feeling you're after and go take what's yours. And step number 5 is make more cold calls. Face your anxiety and watch yourself become stronger and the anxiety get smaller and smaller and smaller. There's a form of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy, and you've probably heard of it. And the whole purpose of it is to figure out what you're anxious about and have you voluntarily expose yourself to that anxiety over and over and over until it loses its power. If you're really anxious about cold calling, make more cold calls. And the power of making more cold calls is going to be that when you get rejected, which you will be rejected because even the best cold callers get rejected about half the time. So first off, accept rejection as a part of the game. Most importantly, when you get rejected, you're going to realize that that worst case scenario isn't that bad. First off, if you have any common sense, you realize that a prospect isn't rejecting you personally. They can't reject you. They don't even know you. They're just rejecting your offer, which is to set a meeting with them to talk about the service or product that you're representing. Back in caveman and cavewoman days, we had this lizard brain and we got really anxious for a good reason to avoid lions and tigers that were chasing us that would probably kill us. But getting rejected in the modern day is like a toothless lion. It's an invisible threat that's not going to hurt us. It's not like we're in a UFC fight where the worst case scenario is that we get knocked unconscious and get our jaw broken. Getting rejected on a cold call is not a big deal. And what's crazy is you could literally reach out to a prospect, you can get rejected, and they hang up on you, and then you give them a day or two, and they forget you, and then you reach back out, either via cold call or cold email, and you set the meeting with the same person that initially rejected you. And personally, after 10 years in tech sales at Oracle, Google Cloud, and as a second founding seller at a startup where I had to do a lot of my cold calling and prospecting, and investing tens of thousands of dollars in self-development and leadership seminars, I've realized this about true confidence. True confidence is not about expectations of success, it's about comfort with failure. So what if cold calling was an opportunity to step into the most confident, badass version of yourself, to build true confidence and to get comfortable with failure as quickly as possible? Because when you're comfortable with failure, watch out, world. Anything is possible. You become unstoppable. You're fearless. And that is the type of person that you're called to be and that you're capable of being. So go out there and pick up the phone and make some calls, get rejected, bounce back and set meetings to prove to yourself that you are a badass and you're capable of crushing it on this path. I'm fired up. Let's go. I hope you enjoyed this video and got value. And guys, if you want coaching, one-on-one coaching from me, and I have proven experience in this industry over 10 years at top companies, and I'm currently coaching SDRs at Oracle, Google Cloud, VMware, Salesforce, and other top startups, then you can book time with me at my Calendly link linked in the description of this video to apply to work with me in a one-on-one capacity on a weekly basis, where I am going to work with you on your cold calling mindset, help you bulletproof your script, objection handling. We're going to talk cold emailing. We're going to talk about building your promotion plan and strategically looking at your territory, optimizing your daily productivity, building amazing relationships, everything A to Z on crushing the SDR role and getting promoted to account executive. So if you're a current SDR who's hungry to succeed, then you can apply to be one of 5 more people that I'm taking on for my one-on-one coaching in the month of May. Thank you for checking out this video and being a part of this growing tech sales community that's all about elevating minds, opening doors, and increasing impact. And I respect you for investing in your personal and professional development. To your success in tech sales and in life, happy selling, happy living, and we'll see you in the next one.